A new World Bank and Asian Development Bank report reveals that India's future depends on harnessing the power of expanding urban areas and supporting smaller towns.
Requesting everyone to please settle down. We'll start in the next 5 minutes.
India is urbanizing rapidly, so fast that you can cross from one municipal boundary to another without even noticing. This seamless sprawl is both a challenge and an opportunity for India's future. A new World Bank and Asian Development Bank report reveals that India's future depends on harnessing the power of expanding urban areas and supporting smaller towns to thrive. Cities drive India's economy. They contribute to 60% of the national GDP and occupy only 3% of the land. But gaps in infrastructure, municipal finance, fragmented governance, weak land management systems, and climate risks are holding them back. To achieve its goal of becoming Viksit Bharat 2047 and a $30 trillion economy, India needs cities that are competitive, livable, inclusive, and resilient. The report introduces the concept of urban growth hubs, not just big cities, but places with real economic potential, and offers a framework and roadmap to support India's cities in harnessing their potential as engines of growth. Moving away from a one-size-fits-all approach, the report identifies 5 typologies of urban areas, each needing tailored strategies for planning and investment. Megacities, mid to large cities, small towns, transitional areas, and industrial urbanization. Unlocking the potential of over 4,000 cities requires integrated urban, transport, and economic planning while placing firm and worker relations squarely into urban planning. By planning for well-defined urban growth boundaries, empowering local institutions, and mobilizing private sector investments alongside public funding, cities can invest smarter in jobs and urban livability. The time to act is now. India's cities can be engines of transformation. If we plan for the future, they're already building. India is urbanizing rapidly, so fast that you can cross from one municipal boundary to another without even noticing. This seamless sprawl is both a challenge and an opportunity for India's future. A new World Bank and Asian Development Bank report reveals that India's future depends on harnessing the power of expanding urban areas and supporting smaller towns to thrive. Cities drive India's economy. They contribute to 60% of the national GDP and occupy only 3% of the land. But gaps in infrastructure, municipal finance, fragmented governance, weak land management systems, and climate risks are holding them back. To achieve its goal of becoming Viksit Bharat 2047 and a $30 trillion economy, India needs cities that are competitive, livable, inclusive, and resilient. The report introduces the concept of urban growth hubs, not just big cities, but places with real economic potential, and offers a framework and roadmap to support India's cities in harnessing their potential as engines of growth. Moving away from a one-size-fits-all approach, the report identifies 5 typologies of urban areas, each needing tailored strategies for planning and investment. Megacities, mid to large cities, small towns, transitional areas, and industrial urbanization. Unlocking the potential of over 4,000 cities requires integrated urban, transport, and economic planning while placing firm and worker relations squarely into urban planning. By planning for well-defined urban growth boundaries, empowering local institutions, and mobilizing private sector investments alongside public funding, cities can invest smarter in jobs and urban livability. The time to act is now. India's cities can be engines of transformation. If we plan for the future, they're already building. India is urbanizing rapidly, so fast that you can cross from one municipal boundary to another without even noticing. This seamless sprawl is both a challenge and an opportunity for India's future. A new World Bank and Asian Development Bank report reveals that India's future depends on harnessing the power of expanding urban areas and supporting smaller towns to thrive. Cities drive India's economy. They contribute to 60% of the national GDP and occupy only 3% of the land. But gaps in infrastructure, municipal finance, fragmented governance, weak land management systems, and climate risks are holding them back. To achieve its goal of becoming Viksit Bharat 2047 and a $30 trillion economy, India needs cities that are competitive, livable, inclusive, and resilient. The report introduces the concept of
Requesting
urban growth
everyone to
hubs,
please settle
not
down.
just big cities.
Before we start, please put your phones on silent. Good afternoon, distinguished delegates and esteemed participants. Welcome to the breakout session on transit-oriented development and regional planning as a part of the National Urban Conclave 2025, organized by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. To commence the proceedings, we begin with the opening remarks by Ms. Rohina Gupta, Director, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Ma'am has played a pivotal role in advancing India's urban policy framework with a career dedicated to sustainable development and inclusive planning. I invite ma'am to please come on the dais to set the context of the session.
A very good afternoon to all of you. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to see a full house here today. I think after an electrifying plenary session where we've seen an exhibition, we've heard guidance from our Honorable Minister, from our Honorable Secretary, Sir. I think we've set the context for how India has to proceed further in the next 22 odd years. So, of course, one of the very critical topics that we all know that we have to cater to that will help in managing this rapid urbanization is transit-oriented development. And while we talk about transit-oriented development, of course, we also have to look at development-oriented transit. So that's where all of you come in, and we have to look at the various facets of this development. So I think, know this. We can just quickly go through this. But we've spoken 50% of India will be urbanized in the next 22 years. So half of our country, the population of the country would be staying in cities and contributing to about 80% of the GDP. So this is extremely crucial the next 20 years. We have to manage the urbanization to accommodate some 10 crore households in the next 20 years. And one of the way forward is compact cities. We have to prevent the urban sprawl. We have to look at connecting our cities together, the larger ones, the peri-urban areas, and all of that. So the time to act is now. We have to achieve the planned urban development to contain this in the next 20 years. So just to give a quick overview of the TOD scenario in India, the mass rapid transit system, MRTS, as of now we know operational is 1022.56 kilometers. We have the RRTS, we have the BRTS. All of that contributes to about 1144 kilometers of operational length. And going forward, we are going to add to this and go to about 3076 kilometers in terms of MRTS, BRTS, RRTS, etc. And of course, the high-speed rail, which is coming up between Maharashtra and Gujarat. So as of now, the states have notified TOD policies. There are 13 states which have notified TOD policies and 6 which have TOD provisions in their master plans and their DCRs. There's also a good amount of work which is put together in terms of LAPs, about 94 local area plans or transit zonal plans, etc. have been made. 58 TOD corridors have been notified so far and 61 TOD nodes. So we have, I think we're all moving in the right direction here. But of course, there's a little more that can be done. We know that 3,000, if there is 3,000 kilometers, if there is 10 crore households to be in, kind of put together in that and prevent the urban sprawl, there is a scope to expand the TOD influence areas And if we consider theoretically for the 3,000 square kilometers, if we look at 500 meters on either side being an optimum walkable distance, we are looking at 3,000 square kilometers of land that can be unlocked, which if we go by the density norms typically in a TOD zone would take care of the 10 crore households more or less, you know. So that's the opportunity that we are sitting on here. So just to kind of, I know all of you are pretty oriented towards TOD, but let's have a very quick engagement of Mentimeter. I'd like to request all of you to just scan this or just go to www.menti.com. We have a very quick engaging session here. We don't want this to be a monologue, and we want all of you to be fully engaged with what we're doing. Yes, 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 it's www.menti.com. Okay. That's a lot of phones. Oh, the warranty? Hold on. Sorry for this, yeah. So I'll give you half a minute to be done with this. Once you log in to www.menti.com and enter the code 69980279. Okay, so we have some very quick trivia, and I'm sure all of you will get all the answers right here. Can I just move on? I hope you're all there. Can I have a yes? Thank you, thank you. Okay, so what according to you are the non-negotiable components of TOD? Just give me a one word on that. What are the non-negotiable? If we don't do it right now, we'll never do it right again. Density, okay, we know that, yes. We have to have these components to make sure our cities are livable, sustainable, walkable, you know, reducing carbon emissions. Okay, jobs, safety, sustainability, affordability, mixed use, safety, encroachment, distance, last mile connectivity, public transport, perfect. Green, yes. Compact, okay. We just have some 61 responses out of 146. Please go on. I think 146 of you have registered, so I'm looking for one word. I'm not going to stop. We're not going to move ahead till we have 100. So, all right, 114, 15, all right. Okay, so I think the key words that are coming out. Accessibility, yes, non-negotiable. Density, yes, we have to make our cities along the TOD denser. They have to be absolutely walkable. Walkable is non-negotiable. If we don't incorporate walkability, footpaths, pedestrian now, we'll probably never be able to do it because that's very difficult to fix later, right? So we have to get it first time right. Safety, yes, there have to be eyes on the street. Last mile connectivity, public transport. Great, okay, so I think we're doing very well here. Thank you so much all for your response here. Another one, how much distance do you think is an ideal walkable influence zone for TOD? We have some options here though, 200 meters, 500 to 800, 2 kilometers, maybe the entire city area, I don't know. What do you think? Okay. Great, this is fast. Yes. Right, I think all of us are pretty much comfortable walking about 500 to 800 meters, but it should be walkable, okay? So I think the key word here is not so much the distance, but walkability. We cannot jump, run, fall, you know. So the streets, they have to be streets, not roads. They have to be footpaths and wide footpaths. Like when you go abroad, I think that's something that we all appreciate. But when we come back to our cities, we don't have them as much. So I think it's all up to us. How can we make our cities more walkable? For all genders, for the all age groups. Okay, technology in TOD. What do you think it can be used for? That's something we're going to talk about a lot more today. We all talk about, in fact, that was not there in the word cloud really so much. You know, we talk about accessibility, we talk about transit, we talk about last mile connectivity, we talk about density, higher FAR, technology, yes. Data is the new oil, right? Right. So integration, yes, integrated transit is absolutely important. We can plan better. There's information that can be put together, big data, monitoring, land value, land use valuation, pollution control. Excellent. So I think for all the people who are into technology, I think the first panel, this is all for you. So we see where we can take it. I'm sure there's a lot happening in this space, but we've just only got started. Thank you so much for your responses. I'll move on to the next one. Okay, which of this is not a typical TOD feature? Is it wide pedestrian paths? Is it high-rise buildings near transit? Low-rise plotted housing? Affordable housing near stations? Easy? High-rise buildings near transit, someone saying it's not a typical feature or it should not be. I'm not sure what is this thing, but yes, low-rise plotted housing. So of course that would kind of defeat the whole purpose of bringing it together, get the densities. Of course, the low-rise plotted housing could probably sit a little away. You're having a large house, low-rise on the periphery of the city. Okay. Oh, is there? Sorry. TOD helps reduce, I think this is the last one, TOD helps reduce which of the following? Public transport, carbon emissions, walkability, land value. Someone's leading and cheating here. Is that someone who's already part of framing the questions? All right. Great, so carbon emissions, of course, with the walkability, with the public transit, with the reduction of cars on the road, denser housing, less travel times, less travel distances, we can achieve, and of course, reclaiming some land back from the core city areas. We can use it for having some green-blue infrastructure within the core areas, and that's how we can say TOD helps reduce the carbon emissions. Thank you so much all for the participation. So this is all what we're going to discuss today. I just thought we could be more participative rather than having a monologue here. Thank you. All right, so we have seen this, right? What does TOD enable? Compact cities. So as you know, typically our cities have grown organically, and we've now put a transit corridor somewhere. But the cities are still low-rise, and as we go out towards the periphery, because now they're the newer cities, we've come up with the new DCRs and bylaws, we've been able to increase the FAR density, etc. But there's not enough opportunity within to do that. So TOD, the policy enablement, can help develop compact cities. We can have mixed-use spaces, so walk to work, live, work, play, all of that comes in. Densities, road densities, it's very critical to not have wider roads, but to have more roads. So the block sizes have to start coming down so people can walk, because even if radially you feel it's 500 meters, when you start walking, it might be more. So that's very critical when planning TOD, have pedestrian paths, have direct connectivities, look at overground, underground, whatever can be enabled. For example, in Manhattan, an average block size is only 80 meters by 274 meters, and in a city like Portland, it's even 61 by 61 meters. So that's like how small block sizes are and how we can get there. So typically a pedestrian intersection ideally should be about 200 per square kilometers. Anyways, moving on. So there's all of that needs to be taken care of, and these are all policy enablements. Public transport, of course, we know how less cars on the road can help. So what does TOD enable? Walkability. So we can see what can be done before and after, how blue-green infrastructure, shaded pavements, bioswales, and all of that can be introduced, so we can reduce the carbon footprint. And then safe streets. This is so important because the walkability should be there 24/7. How can you do that? Active frontages, bring light on the road, it activates 24/7 because you have activity in the day, activity in the night, mixed use, all of that. So that brings in the walkability aspect. So pedestrianization is typically considered expensive, right? Building footpaths, very expensive. No, but it actually, if you have commercial along it, it actually activates your spaces. You can get cafes, you have outdoor spaces. So you have revenue increase, you have, good economics actually that builds in along with the safety factor. So all of these that we've spoken about builds into the sustainable, resilient, and inclusive urban development in the cities. So these are all that we're going to talk about just now. What will make TOD a success? The technology and data, which is what we're going to cover in our first session. The regional planning is good economics through land value capture, higher FSI and others. And then we are also going to look at how seamless connectivity and creative redevelopment of cities can be used and make our cities active growth hubs and help in the creative redevelopment of our existing cities. So thank you all. I hope you have a very engaging knowledge sharing session today. We have a very, very esteemed list of panelists who have joined us from all over India and abroad. So thank you so much, and I look forward to taking this forward with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We now begin the first panel discussion on the theme Application of Technology and Data Analytics in Transit-Oriented Development, focusing on the role of real-time data, IoT, AI, and crowdsourced insights in enhancing urban mobility systems. I invite Professor Dr. PSN Rao on the stage as the moderator of this session. Professor Rao is a senior academic and urban planner with over 38 years of experience. He has served as the director of SPA, Delhi, and chairman of the Delhi Urban Arts Commission. He has led the preparation of Unified Building Bylaws for Delhi and contributed to Delhi Master Plan 2041 and the Planning Board. His work spans across master planning, policy formulation, and capacity building in urban governance. I now invite all the panelists of our first session. Dr. T. Prabhushankar, IES. He has led Chennai's public transport modernization with electric buses and improved last mile connectivity. He has received multiple governance awards, including the Indian Express Excellence in Governance and Tamil Nadu's Best Collector Award. His initiatives reflect a strong focus on sustainability, accessibility, and operational efficiency. He has also contributed to digital transformation and inclusive mobility strategies. His leadership continues to shape Chennai's future-ready transport system. Now, I would like to invite Shri Manvendra Singh. He is a senior technocrat in railway signaling and telecommunication. He has led the integration of ETCS Level 3 and LTE technologies for India's first high-speed rail. His work includes cybersecurity, IIoT, and platform screen door systems. He has led leadership roles at the Delhi Metro and Indian Railways and holds advanced degrees in data science and cyber law. His contributions have set new benchmarks in railway operations and digital transformation. I now invite Mr. Shan MS. He leads Moving Tech, which builds ONDC complaint zero commission mobility platforms. His work empowers drivers and integrates autos, cabs, and metros and buses into a unified ecosystem. With over 130 million trips in driver earnings, his platforms support Digital India and Viksit Bharat. He advocates for open source and community-led mobility solutions. His leadership is transforming urban transport through digital public infrastructure. Kindly note, each speaker will present for 5 to 7 minutes, followed by a 15-minute open house for questions.
How mic?
You want to speak from your side?
Yeah.
You can speak from your...
I can look at the. Can we have the?
Yeah.
No, not this. The first one. Not this. Pehla wala. No, it's not there on the screen. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. we are, I think, running short of time. Nevertheless, we do have about 45 minutes, I'm given to understand. I will only take about 5 minutes just to set the context. We are very keen to listen to the practitioners and the experts who have been working in this area. So I'll just set the context and then leave it for the experts to give us their details on this. There are different viewpoints when we talk about transit-oriented development. Being an architect planner, we generally look at transit-oriented development in terms of the physicality of the whole thing, but then it is not just the buildings or the roads or the mobility, but there is much more to it than what meets the eye. And in this particular session, there are 3 sessions today where we are talking about transit-oriented development. But in this particular session, our focus is more on artificial intelligence and information technology. So, how do I move it forward?
So you may use this as well.
It's not. Okay, fine. I think I'll use this. Well, as has been said, that we are not new to transit-oriented development. In as many as 6 master plans in the country, we've already introduced this concept of transit-oriented development. And in many other cities also, transit-oriented development is on its way. Essentially, what we are saying is that there will be nodes of development and they will be connected through some kind of a movement corridor. So how do we move people from place of residence to place of work, and how do we make that a comfortable experience? That's the whole idea. And when you have places of work and places of residence, how compact they can be so that you don't have a city that is spread out, but you have a city that is well organized. So the goal is reducing car dependency, having more people using the public transport, greater accessibility, more vibrant, more safe neighborhoods, and more safe workplaces, and improving the quality of life at the end of the day. Because after we do all this, if you are not happy and if you don't have a good quality of life, then there's no point. There are, of course, serious challenges to this, because we've already adopted a system wherein we are in a kind of an urban sprawl. So how do we reorganize this urban sprawl into something which is more organized, and how do we use technology to really do that? So information technology, artificial intelligence, I think this has a very major role to play. We are in the process of discovering this, and I think there is still a very, very long way to go. We are probably not doing this in an integrated manner. We are doing it in bits and pieces, something here and something there, in one area, in another area, within the buildings, sometimes in the public domain, sometimes maybe a company is doing it, sometimes maybe an authority is doing it, but perhaps we are not integrating the whole thing. An attempt was made in the integrated command and control centers in the smart city mission that we had, but then yes, how do we take decisions, how do we integrate, how do we segregate, how do we predict, how do we model future scenarios? So these are all things that can be done, of course, at the entire city level, and more so in the TOD level. It's not that technology is only for the TOD, but it's for the entire city as such, and TOD more so because this is the area of concentration. So wherever there is concentration, obviously the problems are more, and therefore you need to do this. So it's not only for planning, but it's also for predictive planning, what is going to happen in the future. And also I was looking at that when we did that menti.com, not many people, I don't think anybody said management. I think management is extremely important. Somebody said fleet management. That was the only management that I could see when different terminologies were punched in there. You need to manage a hell of a lot of things if you want to have your TOD working properly. So management is an extremely important function of how to get off TOD. So spatial planning, as architects and planners, we do know this, that how do we do the analytics and how do we do the spatial planning, GIS mapping and all that. I think the ministry also has a scheme, and a very large number of cities We've already done this kind of a thing. There are examples worldwide. Now there are examples within the country itself. Public transit operations, of course, technology is very, very important. We do have experts here, Mr. Prabhu Shankar from the Tamil Nadu experience, and Mr. Manvendra Singh from the NCR Transit Corporation. So looking at buses, looking at trains, there are various modes by which you can move people from place A to place B to place C. So how fast you can move them, how comfortably you can move them, and how you can even vary the timings. In the peak hours, probably you'll have to, like in the Delhi metro, the peak hours you have a metro train coming almost one every minute. I don't know if any other country is really doing it, but we have almost every 1 minute we have a metro coming in the peak hours. The metro ridership is also increasing, which means that people are adopting and adapting to a different way of life. Delhi was essentially a car-based city at one time, but today we have as many as 4.5 million passenger trips every day, which is a huge number. So one day the metro doesn't work, you can imagine the chaos that's going to happen. So that can also be predicted using AI, incidentally. We have not done that perhaps, but we can do that also. Connectivity, we have a gentleman, a co-founder from Namayatri. Well, this is one of the popular apps, Helsinki, where integration of different modes. Today we do have a Delhi Metro app. So I want to go from place A to place B, and then how do I do that? I can get it on my app. But then is that the best way to do it? Or should I take an Uber? Or should I take something else? Or should I change different modes at different points of time so that I reach my destination in the shortest period of time? That kind of a system, that kind of an integration is perhaps not available. Probably that is required. Of course, the physical infrastructure is very much important. We do need the actual, for example, from my home in Gurgaon to this place, it's actually a 15 kilometer, half an hour ride by car. And if I have to do that by metro, it will probably take me about 95 minutes. That's what I checked, because for the simple reason that the metro network is not connected in that manner. So I need to first go from Gurgaon to Connaught Place, and then from there come here and do that kind of a thing. So the physical planning and the infrastructure that you need to lay on the ground is extremely important. At the same time, technology is also important for us to tell us as to where we go and how we go and how much time we can save. Of course, we need to look at sustainability. It is extremely important that whatever we do in today's time and age, it has to be green, and in fact that's the whole idea of optimizing, of increasing efficiency, so that we use technology to reach destinations in the shortest possible time. So we are optimizing on time. Carbon emissions, as somebody said very rightly, largest percentage. Yes, so we don't have to take out our car every place. Reduce the carbon footprint analysis and so on. So there are, Singapore is of course a very good example of doing technology and TOD integration. The Jurong East case study is very well known to many of you, and there are many other case studies also. Probably very soon India will also be somewhere there. Future trends and challenges, digital twins. How can you reimagine, how can you imagine the entire city on your screen, and then how you can start manipulating data and how you can start predicting whether it is water, whether it is electricity, whether it is any of these. You know, technology applications can be any one of these. For example, in a TOD area, water management, for example, you can actually have real-time data for a year, and then you can start looking at the data, and you can see the peaks and the reduction, and then you can do a lot of analysis, and then accordingly your networks can be structured, whether it is flood management, mobility management, traffic management. Power requirements also keep changing with time, so power management, even property, real estate inventory and so on, all these things, safety and security, these are all areas where we can have applications. So to conclude, AI is something that's going to enhance efficiency, sustainability and livability at the end of the day. All this we are trying to do because we want to make our cities better places to live in. So the future of cities lies in the intersection of intelligence and mobility. So I will conclude on this note. and I have three learned speakers who are going to make presentations. So I'll conclude here, and I'll invite Dr. Prabhu Shankar he's the managing director of the from Tamil Nadu. He is going to talk about the Tamil Nadu bus system. So over to you, Mr. Prabhu Shankar, please. It will take about 7 minutes.
Sure.
And subsequently, we can have some floor participation as well towards the end.
So good afternoon, everyone. It's really a pleasure and privilege to be at this National Urban Conclave, and I'm really grateful to the organizers for inviting me for this event. So quickly getting to the topic, me being the first speaker, it's always kind of an opportunity and also a challenge. So I'll try to make my presentation more relevant. Chennai, so the title slide really tells what urban transport in Chennai is all about. So we've been having public transportation which was nationalized since the black and white era. So we've had a long history, a legacy-rich organization. MTC has been the Metropolitan Transport, though they may have been known by different names. We've been in the business of plying people for close to a century. So this is really, so we are literally now at the crossroads, and that is where such fora really help to learn from each other. And here in my presentation, I would like to share our experiences is how technology is enabling us to make better decisions and ensuring there is both transit-oriented development as well as development-oriented transit. So just to give the context, this is what Chennai is all about. Chennai was a very accidental metropolitan city. Chennai was never meant to be a city in the first place. It was just a fishing hamlet. A gentleman named Mr. Francis Day, he found this place to be suitable for British settlement, and that's why here we are. So the good things about Chennai and all the burden, the legacy is all about the legacy. So both we carry a rich legacy which also adds to the wonderful glories that Chennai is all known for, but also the burden. Because right from disaster management, the way we face floods, the way we face drought, because I was in urban sanitation and water supply for quite some time. So this is the second oldest municipal corporation in the world. In fact, after London, this is the in the Commonwealth, outside of the UK, this is the second oldest corporation in the world. And the city as such is 426 square kilometers. So basically, this part is basically the Greater Chennai Corporation, and this area is the Chennai metropolitan area. This used to be 1189 square kilometers till 3 years back, and right now we have a larger area. So it's not just the city of Chennai, the older, the next concentric circle, and we have 5 more districts, Tiruvallur, Kanchipuram, Chengalpet, and a part of Ranipet as well. So this has now become close to 6,000 square kilometer, and so this has really, we have to really reorient ourselves in terms of both development and also ensuring connectivity to everyone living here. So just to give a snapshot of the multimodal, the various transports, public transport modalities in Chennai, MTC, the organization I represent, is said to be the lifeline of Chennai city because we carry the most passengers. We carry close to 34 lakh passengers each day with around close to 3,500 buses, 660 roads, and around 8.2 lakh square, 8.2 kilometers the buses going every day. So this is the bus network in a snapshot. We have a total of a road network of 2,114 kilometers with some around 5,000 bus stops and a lesser amount in the GCC area alone. So that literally gives, this is to just give the context. Likewise, we also have a CMRL network, an existing network of 53 kilometers, and another 112 kilometers are getting added. the suburban railway network, we also have a long, that's been again a major lifeline for Chennai, because it also takes people from so far from the city. It goes as far as Andhra Pradesh in the north. So this is going to be, we have 112 kilometers with 70 stations. So all three, these are the three major public transport modalities in the city of Chennai. Well, why are we here? This is exactly, I think, no city is stranger to this TOD conundrum. So most of the investments, the transit investments, happen in the core city, but then the people have a mind of their own. And why? Because we are wiser. Man is a rational animal, is an economics is basically, there's development happening only in the peri-urban area, driven by three major reasons. Land is cheap, land parcels are larger, the land value is lesser. So people tend to go and invest and buy large, because one of the options in the MCQs in the Menti was the large plotted. So this is exactly what happened. So we need to understand how and why does it happen? There's a lack of data-driven planning and management of development. So we really need to address this, and how do we go about it? That is where transit-oriented development comes. And we, as I said, in most Indian cities, the situation that we just saw on the previous slide happens. So TOD now recenters urban growth around sustainable transport, aligning density, accessibility and development to address challenges. But in the short run, what do we do? Especially in a city like Chennai, where TOD might still be a medium term or a long term solution. We also need to focus on development oriented transit. So this is what technology and data analytics are going to be useful in addressing this. So I'm just going to share a few glimpses into the a case study which we did in Chennai to for our next step of our operations, which is called People Near Transit. So what is PNT? So People Near Transit is a methodology which is used to measure the proportion of a city's population that lives within a walkable distance of public transit services. So basically it's a proxy indicator as to say how good there is transit access for its residents. And basically it exposes what are the various gaps in connectivity and accessibility in urban transport systems and services. So this is the 6 steps that is basically that forms part of this analysis. First, we identify the public transport service points, let's say a bus stop or a metro station. So this dot is the first step. Then we create a walkable catchment area, so the yellow line. So this is basically 400 meters for bus-based transit and 800 meters for a metro and a suburban. Then we build a 50-meter buffer area. So this red blocks these squares. So we this buffer area around walkable network lines to capture the surrounding buildings, and then we overlay with the building footprints, and then we overlay with population, and we also estimate population in the accessible area, and that is this completes the analysis. So these are the data and the various data sources from where we get this analysis done. So there is a transport layer, there is a population and transport demand layers. So there are some public sector where we derive data. It's basically primarily a secondary data driven analysis. There's no primary data collection involved here. So we have the transport layers, a public bus roads and frequency which is available with us. We use Google Maps for the metro corridors, though we could always get it from the CMRL, and open street maps and Google Maps again for the suburban network. There are water bodies from a sentinel survey, from the list of schools we get from the local bodies, the list of slums and locations, the TAZ wise population from the Kumta, and then we have a building footprint from open buildings. So this is like a mix of both a public sector data sources and also a private data sets we kind of combine for the analysis. Yes, so this is the results of the analysis. So the first step, we get to understand what is the building density. That is the first layer that we actually get. Now we have understood what is the metro walking shed. So 9.5% of the population can access the existing metro services within a 10-minute walking distance, and 23% of the population can access the proposed metro services within a 10-minute walking distance. When it comes to bus walking shed, we have 56.5% of the population have access bus transport services within a 5-minute walking distance, and 36% of this. So, but then we may also have a scenario wherein there's a bus just once a day, which might make our analysis flawed. So when we add another filter with respect to frequency of bus transport, a 5-minute walking distance where there are frequent bus services. So that when we narrow it down, only 36% of the population have access wherein a frequent transit, they are part of the frequent bus walking shed. So this is the analysis, and we also find that there are pockets. So we may say that this area is connected, but there's a large area literally hidden, a concealed area from which people have to, this is outside the walking shed. We really need to address this. And then we also analyze the employment centers, which is a major area which needs to have proper access. We find only 44% of employment centers have access to frequent transit service. Well, this is the thing which I showed. There are shows dense pockets with opportunities for public transport development. So as you see, these areas, though theoretically they might be connected, you have a lot of pockets well within these areas which need connectivity. And also, because we now know which are the ones which are well connected. We understand 36% of the city has a dense connectivity network. Now, this serves as the beginning, this serves as the platform for TOD. So this analysis helps both primarily in DOT, which as a transport planner I can do. I can also share this data with our urban planners to ensure TOD happens with this data available. So these are the key takeaways from this advancing TOD through analytics. So technology and analytics are transforming TOD planning in India, as we have seen. And tools like PND, which is a very, very simple tool. We have not really worked with some very difficult data sets. This is something going to quantify walk access and reveal TOD gaps and opportunities. And the way forward, strengthening open transit data and multimodal data sharing. So this is something I would really like to stress upon. The public sector departments are absolutely, they are so protective of the terrain. So that is really a stumbling block when we come to data analysis. While data is more, open data is the norm, we still find, so you would have seen, why would you get a data for CMRL from Google Maps or Google? Because that is more easier to get than from our own government organization. So that is something as a policy we really need to work on, that the data transparency is there, at least for a B2B analysis. And the integrating accessibility analytics into planning and decision making for transport operations is going to be the way forward. And prioritize development. As I said, we find 36% of the city has a very good connectivity. We really need to focus on development on those zones. Build institutional capacity for spatial analytics and digital governance. So what are we going to do in the immediate term based on this PNT analysis? While we need to plan, and this is going to be basically the keywords that we were discussing. As an urban transport planner and an operator, FLMC is the buzzword. I think we find some Devi buses operating in Delhi, which is really wonderful sight. Chennai had small buses, 7-meter buses, are running in Chennai for 12 years. It was since 2013-14, we have small buses of 7-meter which go into the smallest gullies, smallest lanes of Chennai. Now, but then it was a time when CapEx was the norm. We went with the CapEx model, and those are white elephants. If you see the fleet, that is the 200 buses. It might be just 200 or buses, but the EPKM is around 140 rupees because for many reasons. So this is something which has stopped us from expanding this as a service. But now, with the changed landscape in terms of changed mindset in terms of financing, when gross contract model has norms like they have come, we really see an opportunity here, and we are really in the plan to have 750 buses upfront with a very wide range of portfolios, not just 9 meters, not just 7 meters. We are going for even smaller because the lanes in the city are even smaller. So, which will act as feeder services for CMRL, MTC and EMU. So, we are actively working with this data. So, this is a real world example of how data can be used for planning. As I said, as a planner, I can only share that this is going to help development oriented transit, but the utility of this study or similar data analytics in transit oriented development is going to be huge, and it's time we make our data sources more available, and we make the available data sources more, let them use them more and analyze to ensure the planning is perfect. So with those words, I really thank you for the opportunity. So again, it's some nostalgic picture from the archives of MTC. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Prabhu Shankar. I think that was an interesting presentation on the buses. We've been talking a lot about other modes of transport, but then the good old bus still continues to be the hot favorite at least as far as Chennai is concerned, it seems. So from the buses, let's move to the metro, to the rail-based services. Can we have Mr. Manvendra Singh? He's the Group General Manager of the NCR Transport Corporation. Mr. Singh. About 7-8 minutes.
Yes. Namaskar. I am Group General Manager Operations from NCRTC, Manvendra Singh. I am going through the journey of that TOD, how the technology can be embedded into the decision making on TOD development, or more so the development of any transport media or transit systems across the city and length and breadth both. Yeah. So agenda will be how the TOD is introduced in the NCRTC or by the NCRTC, and what are the essentials of TOD, core principles, what is the global playbook where the technology has some stopgap arrangement being done for TOD development, and what are the takeaways where we can move on with the gaps the TOD has been developed, a reference to the technology induction, OD matrix of digital twin. We are talking about the digital twin of cities or the corridor, along with we are developing the TODs, gaps closed and optimization, and what are the next step to be taken when we want to integrate the technology. Essentials of TOD, there is a lot of text, so I do not want you to go through that. Just keep these 3 words in your pocket: people, place and public transport. This is the TOD which governs all these 3 things: people, place and public transport. When we integrate both of these 3 things together for a holistic development of any place, by the people, for the public, through the public transport, that is the TOD policy in a nutshell. I'll just move on to have that not fear of buzzer. What is the context of NCRTC in TOD? We are developing a corridor of semi-high speed regional rail connection. Primarily objective is that within 40 to 50 kilometers the metros should have that mobility of transit. Semi-high speed corridor within 150 kilometers to 200 kilometers. Then we move on to high speed rails beyond 200 kilometers. All idea is that the public or the person should travel from his residence, his or her residence, to his working place within an hour, because more than an hour transit is loss to economy for the nation and for the public at large. So we are having a 3 corridor in a first phase: Delhi Meerut, Delhi Alwar, Delhi Karnal. Delhi Meerut is almost operational with 160 kmph of speed of the train. That is the presently highest speed of train which is available in Indian context. How RRTS can develop that TOD zone and enable that TOD development is that along the corridor, you see, anybody would have traveled to Meerut. We have seen that Modi Nagar area, it is entirely developed along the highway. So in a nutshell, it was already developing in some sense to TOD. Now if you develop that RRTS or any metro or any transit corridor on the highway itself, then you are already developing that 500-800 meter of umbrella where the TOD is already possible there. So RRTS is being developed on the medians of the highway so that no land is being captured for that development of RRTS. Additionally, already developed zone of that public and places is integrated into that RRTS to enable that TOD improvement in that system. What are the core principles? I'll just keep 3 things: compact misuse, density gradient and walkability. Walkability is an index which is giving like 15 points by UN Habitat, India Institute of Transport Development, and density is giving the 25 points. So if you want to check or have any specifics of TOD policy, whether it is successful or not, gauge on that terms of the numbers. Walkability 15 points and density has to be on 25 points, and mixed use of that land is again 25 points. So 25, 25 and 15. These 3 things comprises most of the time TOD to be successful. Now what are the global playbook for technology? Why tech matters, digital twins, AI and BIM GS led cities test before they build. you simulate that test cities, you simulate that whether walkway are useful, you simulate whether any FOB we have made that is useful for the people, that whether they will be using it, how the mobility is going on, operate while they group, then you can modulate, you can find out, you can audit yourself that whether that TOD policy we introduce is going to be success or not, and then finance as value rises. As you increase in the public transportation, your value, your economic conditions rise again. Hong Kong, they are beautifully using this rail and property value capture through bundling air rights with that station development. Sydney, they are using that ISDs, metro coupling with digital twin, some sort of a digital twin, approximately 40% of the city is being twinned on that. And Toronto, they are using 3D BIM link model to development and design of that station parcels and land value capturing on the systems. Now impact, NCRTC has done a digital twin modeling for the corridor of the RRTS along with 800 meters of the zone on space and width wise both. So ridership, customer satisfaction, this we integrated itself before planning. So now you can see the graph, it is almost reaching at that place, queue time before TOD, and how the area accessibility can be increased with that state government. Then we were able to reduce the queue time, energy intensity, and then public safety was increased. This is how the TOD can be mapped with emerging technologies. You can use AI-driven land use, GIS, urban, digital twin simulation. What will be the benefit? It will benefit in the sense that optimal land utilization and balanced density planning you can do. Pedestrian priority, that walkability is the main. Now how you can integrate the technology? You can use LiDAR, you can use LiDAR based systems, you can use GIS mapping, and very beautifully Department of Telecommunication of India has come up with a digital twin of mobility of the people who are using mobile, and this data is available with most of the telecom service provider. NCRTC has started using this data. This data can be directly integrated into any digital twin modeling of any city and space. So like from Chennai, esteem panelists were saying that data should be made open. And whenever you want data, that's a primary source of data. Any person with a mobile moving from his house to any place, you can map it so that last mile connectivity, what are the requirements of the person, what is the cluster of the person, of the people which are moving from X to Y places, and which type of transport medium is required. Now walkability, when we say walk sheds, so if we know that walk sheds we are going to prepare for a digital twin model, then how it is going to help in that TOD overall development. Definition of OD, this everybody knows on the data, role of OD and challenges addressed by, I have speed on this. Just give me 2 minutes only. Fusing telecom, that I have said as a DOT, Department of Telecommunication, given the data, make a comprehensive digital twin framework and then appropriately model it. This is the structure of any technology which we can use: data source, platform, OD engine, application, dashboarding, and then governance for deciding any TOD policy. Use cases, we have used all: park and ride, fare products, event surge and crowd management. Like professor was saying that whether we have fleet management we are doing through digital twin modeling. Yes, we are doing as an RRTS. Even if crowd is surging, we introduce new fleets in train services, and when crowd is not there, we reduce the train services from the system. Key performance, queue reduction, energy efficiency and feeder capture. These are the benefits. Gaps are closed. Key achievements, we have optimized transit operation through that digital twin modeling, improvements in KPIs performances. What are the steps? We should integrate this OD matrix by Department of Telecommunication data, mobile telephony data, and leverage these AI and IoT based systems for making digital twin of the cities, and then we can plan what if the question that can answer. And if we can answer what if in near future for 20-30 years, then that TOD policy need to be success. There should not be any doubt about it. These are the open spaces, energy efficiency, and this is the conclusion. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Manvinder Singh. I think the difference between the perhaps the Chennai presentation and Mr. Singh's presentation is that while this was more of a city-based system, regional planning is, I think, the crux in the NCRTC. because we are talking about Alwar, we are talking about Meerut, so we are talking about long distance transit oriented development. So that is one dimension where they are contributing. Of course, one is a bus and one is a rail system. So now we come to the app technology. We have Mr. Shan, who is the co-founder of Nammayatri. There's www.nammayatri.in. That's the app. So let's know more about the app in the words of Mr. Shan himself.
Thanks.
Over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, great to be here, and this presentation and whatever we have done, the huge credit goes to a lot of people who have been here, from Usha ma'am to Prabhu sir to Albert to everyone. I think it's the credit, full credit goes to all of them. So, this one. Okay, mobility and transportation. This can become the growth engine for our cities or can become the speed breaker. And when we are talking about it, the single common enemy is private cars. So how do we move away from our own personal cars into shared mobility, which could be a combination of paratransit or the shared mobility, ride hailing, etc., to public transport. So what we realized over last 4-5 years, we are a payment technology company. When we looked at mobility as a problem, how do we solve it? What we realized is that a single company cannot solve the mobility or the transportation problem. It's the entire ecosystem that has to come together and solve it. And if you have to make it solvable, what are the inspirations that India has done? India specific, India unique, very innovative way of solving large scale, population scale problem. We looked at the examples like Aadhaar, UPI, Oken, etc., where you use digital public infrastructure and think in terms of accessible, affordable, and very innovative solution. And this cannot be done with a single company. You need the amalgamation of 3 important ingredients, which is Samaj, Sarkar, Bazaar. I think I'm representing Bazaar, but sometimes we feel that very much part of the community and the Sarkar as well. So mobility, in our one line, if you have to say, it can be solved at the hyper-local level. It could be at the city level, it could be at the state level, it could be at the country level. So we call this mobility 3.0, like how web has evolved from 1, 2, 3. Today we are talking about web 3. Mobility in our view also is evolving through various scenarios. 1.0 is very disconnected, decentralized, but it was not digitized. 2.0 came in, definitely solved some problem of looking at people, convenience, and definitely digital, improved the convenience through the ride hailing. We have bunch of apps coming in and then trying to solve it. 3.0 is going to be a lot more sustainable. Government will not be a bystander. Government will play a very active role in this one. Transit will not be ignored. Transit will become a very integral part of it. We will digitize it, but at the same time we will decentralize it. The people who do the real work, could be the driver, could be the MTC, could be the metro, etc. They own the app, they own the data, they can make it open as well. So it's a very decentralized model. At the same time, all of them are unified using a common protocol. Today, internet is unified despite it's very decentralized. UPI is decentralized, but there is a common language as well. And that's why a common language in which everybody can come together and make this work is important. There are great examples like Odisha Yatri, Yatri Sati, Chennai One, etc. So we call this the house of hyper-local mobility apps. We have very soon Bharat Taxi coming in Delhi. We'll pretty soon have the Bharat Taxi. Hopefully will be launched by Honorable Home Minister very soon. The idea is that it is community-led. People have to start taking the ownership. We cannot solve mobility problems unless the community comes together and solve it. It will be backed by government or supported by government. It will be very open, transparent, and it will be multimodal and transit integrated from word go. So I'm going to play a quick video. I think sometimes more than talking, a video can, this is the one? Yeah. Audios. Thank you. Internet. Have to. I think maybe I'll do this at the end. Yeah, I changed it to 360p. So it's built on 4 pillars. First is we'll have to move people and not our vehicles. If everything is centered around people, things are going to be better. For India, is cost-effective model is very important. Can we provide infrastructure rather than actually build the full stack solutions? Second is open. Sir spoke about it. How do we use a software which is open, data which is open, and dashboards which are open as well, which can enable things like digital twin, etc., to be built on top of it. Third is leverage the power of India's massive capacity and skills that's available in AI and technology, and last but not the least, integrated as well. People first. We have seen examples of women drivers actually kind of making a big difference in a program called Mahila Shakti in Bangalore. This program is getting done in multiple cities as well. If we focus on the drivers who are actually doing the real work, if we build solutions around them to empower them, I'm pausing it, I'll come back at the end. Yeah, so if we keep the people who have been driving in our very difficult cities as well, in the hot sun and cold weather, and the kind of traffic that they go through, if we keep the drivers, many times we don't talk about them, the kind of difficult life that they go through, if we keep their welfare in mind, if we build solutions around them, they are going to be excellent first mile, last mile warriors as well. Whatever we are building, it has to be happy for both sides, both for the supply as well as the demand. Open. All our software is 100% open. People, each of the city can build on top of it. People can make customizations, etc. The entire data is open, and it's also built on ONDC, government-backed ONDC and backend protocol as well. And most importantly, I think there is always a perception that when it is from government, when it is public transport, experience is not given the priority, which we want to be changed. Whatever that comes from government, I think UP is a great example, right? It has set the world, it has set a great example for the entire world, and in the mobility also, we can actually set the great example for the entire world. Western countries are 5 years behind when it comes to payments. I think in the mobility, we have a great opportunity to make it very customer-centric and build it like a great infrastructure, which innovations, on which top of it innovations can be done. Last but not the least, super integrated, super seamless, and everything revolving around the entire TOD concepts. And we have a bunch of apps which have already starting to prove that, okay, these are better alternatives for people. If I want to go from point A to point B, there are better options. Like sir said, when he has to come from Gurgaon, I think very soon, sir, by December, you will see Bharat Taxi, which will tell you exactly whether you want to take a first mile, last mile, or whether you want to take a metro, etc., very, very seamlessly. We have a Chennai one example. Albert is here, and Kumta has played a phenomenal role in kind of having the vision of, okay, what should Chennai city look at it in the next 10 years, and Prabhu sir has been super cooperative in terms of bringing all these things together, and the city is always thinking about what do we do in the next 5 years to make the city more sustainable, accessible, and livable as well. Another great example, Bharat Taxi. This is going to be the Amul moment for mobility, in which all the key players from government and community will come together, and will also keep the public-private partnership very, very seamless as well. So maybe now, hopefully, the internet will be back. So I'll play this part of the journey. This is an example of how we are envisaging all community-led mobility apps.
ರೆಡಿ ತೋರಿಸಿ ಚಂದಂಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಖುಷಿ ಆಯ್ತಮ್ಮ.
साथी बढ़िया ही चल रहा है, जो भी चालू होगा अच्छे के लिए ही होगा. इसमें हम लोगों का पैसेंजर ज्यादा होगा, फायदा भी ज्यादा होगा.
ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியா இருக்கேன்.
இதே வந்துட்டு அந்த ஆப் மூலமா நான் பார்த்து தெரிஞ்சுக்கேன்னா அந்த ஸ்பாட் ஒரு 5 மினிட்ஸ்க்கு முன்னாடி மட்டும் நான் வந்தேன்னா ஓகேவா.
இந்தியாவிலே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் ஒரு ஸ்டாப்பில் இறங்கும்போது வேற வேற டிக்கெட் எடுக்கணும். இப்போ ஒரே டிக்கெட்லேயே போயிடுறேன்.
ଓଡ଼ିଶା ଯାତ୍ରୀର ଜିରୋ କମିଶନ ସହିତ ଇନକମ୍ ମଧ୍ୟ ଭଲ.
നമ്മുടെ നാടിന് തന്നെ ഒരു വലിയ വികസനമാണ് വരാൻ പോകുന്നത്.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I think we have completely run out of time, but in the interest, can we just have 2 questions? One question from this side and one from that side. Anybody, any interventions, any questions, any observations? I think we have someone from here. Gentlemen, can a mic be sent there?
Hello, myself Dr. Shubhojit. So very nice presentation. So when we are talking about the mobile data, right? So this is almost a very common thing for our developed countries. But in India, like when we talk about the cyber security and when something is tracking, so I have 2 questions on that about that cyber security part, and second question is that there might be noise in that data, because there might be some kind of connectivity loss or something which may lead to multiple trips, which is not true. Okay, so if you can give some highlights on that.
If I have gone through your question, it will be 2 parts. One is that how the data is being cyber secure for that implementation towards the digital twin, and second one is that the mobile connectivity itself is loses, so how that is reliable in multiple trips and sort of a thing. So the answer should be the 2 types of things. First one is the cyber security part. When we talk about the telecom data, it's a hygiene data where we do not consider the names and the persons and their personal data. It's a common community data. Let's say 20 people, 20 mobile users are being connected to a one particular station, means transmit station, and this one particular station is connecting 20 people. 20 persons are moving from 20 mobile handsets are moving from X to Y. So for digital twin modeling of city or any spatial geographical information, only this data is needed, that 20 mobile handsets are moved from X to Y. It is not necessary that 20 handset belongs to whom. So this data is being hygiened at that particular level, where that data modeling does not captures the personal information of mobile handset itself. It is only capturing that mobile handset in a number has been moved, and that is only useful for you or me as a planner, where we can find out that X number of people are moving from X to Y for 400 meter, then they are taking another car or bike and they are moving from, let's say, 1 kilometer in only 2 minutes. So you are roughly assuming that they are taking some bike ride or something like that. And when they are moving 20 kilometer these handsets in half an hour, then you are assuming that they have taken a motor ride of bus or metro operations. And when you map these mobility data with that GIS mapping, you pinpointedly in real time knows that how much transportation is moving for a public at large. Now comes to the cyber security part. Cyber security, when you deal any data into that domain of digital twin, some concept is called as data diodes, where the data is being captured and being filtered on the air gap itself. You do not have that layer of cyber security or firewall or anything. These are some sort of a 20-30% maintaining cyber security. But when you have a data diode, it's a physical violation between 2 X or Y, then it is being pretty sure. Now mobile connectivity parts. Whenever we are moving for a trip, mobile connectivity plays a role till you are at the ticketing level. When you have purchased a ticket, then you're pretty sure that all the systems are taken care in such a way that connectivity itself does not cost into a multiple trips or some sort of a thing. So that part is being taken care by that. Hope I have answered that too. Thank you.
One last question and then we'll wind up this session. If there is anyone. I think there's a lady at the end.
use technology to improve the quality of public participation in mobility planning? How can it bridge the gap between people and governments, and how can then they incorporate their perspectives? Would really love to understand that. Thank you.
So I think you were moderator. I thought it will be over by yesterday, but you are here again. so thank you. Thanks for the question. So really, it was as we have seen from our experience. Yes, we have been traditionally been kind of very conservative in the way we have planned things. We have always believed that we will design a system which is good for the public, but with technology has literally been the enabler for citizen. It has really empowered citizens. Like this, we have come to a stage where each and every decision of ours is criticized the very moment the decision is taken. So rather, if you ask who wields asymmetric power, there's always been an asymmetry. Whenever there's always an information asymmetry when it comes to the citizen and the governance. But then, of late, it's now the symmetry in terms of who wields the more power. It is more with the citizens. And yes, coming to answer the question very specifically, I think there is a real-time feedback in the form of social media is playing a very, very important role in how our services are constantly getting reshaped. I think whenever services are launched, whenever anything is launched, we have a very active citizen, citizens are very actively they are contributing to how the services are getting developed. But then when it comes to conceptualizing services in the more of a more conservative way, in the more conventional way, certainly we hold whenever these plans, let's say this analysis happens. I think just to a case in point, in case of Chennai, when we are planning the FLMC, OMR, the Old Mahabalipuram Road, is the IT hub of Chennai. So there is a federation of OMR Residents Association. So we are directly, so they are the ones who are suggesting the routes. For example, it's not just about the IT people we need to plan for. We have a huge demand for how the domestic help who are going to work in the neighborhood, the OMR, the various areas along OMR, how they are going to travel from these trunk routes from OMR. So there will be some 5 kilometer areas as deep as 5 kilometers. So we are actively involving resident welfare associations. That's just an illustration I was just trying to share. So we are actively working with FOMRA to actually and asking them what exactly you want. So in ways more than one, by direct citizen engagement, I'm just sharing the city perspective, and by also constantly being responded. And the other example is disability. For example, special groups like disability. We have a strong feedback from the Disability Rights Alliance. There's like similar civil society groups, which constantly shape the way how our transportation has become more and more accessible. So whenever, for example, when the e-buses were launched, in the prototype, they were the ones who were part of the panel which inspected, and their suggestions went into redesigning the entire prototype. So we have constantly endeavoring this, and I believe across STUs, across organizations across the country are doing this. And just to say, we are rather more the threat is more, we are under threat than the citizens now. So the things have changed, and if there's one thing that has enabled them immensely, it is technology. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that was a very interesting session. Of course, there are so many dimensions to this subject, and it will take a very long time for us to get to the bottom of this. But this is also something that is evolving over a period of time, and very fast, that too. So technology is evolving, and I think all of us have a role to play in this evolution. So thank you very much, Mr. Dr. Prabhushankar, Manvendra Singh ji, and Mr. Shan. I think we had, and the audience also, for your patient here. So let's close this session. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for such an insightful session. May I now request Rohina ma'am and Gurjeet sir to kindly present the mementos as a token of appreciation to the participants. May I now request Professor Rao to come forward. alternate नाम कर दो. May I now request Dr. Prabhu Shankar to please come forward. May I now request Sri Manvendra Singh to please come forward. May I now request Mr. Shan to please come forward. I now invite all the panelists in front of the dais for a group photograph. Let us now move forward to the second panel discussion, which will address the theme TOD and regional planning as good economics, with emphasis on land value capture, financing mechanisms, and agglomeration economies. I now invite Shri M. Thanarasan, IS, on the dais as the moderator of the session. Sir has led transformative urban reforms in Ahmedabad and Surat, including India's first city-level climate budget and net zero action plan. He has overseen major infrastructure projects such as the Sabarmati riverfront development. His leadership in Surat introduced smart mobility and civic engagement platforms. He has also spearheaded industrial expansion in GIDC and Gujarat's bid for the Commonwealth and Olympic Games. His work reflects a commitment to the climate-smart and citizen-centric urban development. I now invite all the panelists of the session on the dais. Shri Shantanu Goyal. He has led TOD implementation and infrastructure development in Navi Mumbai. His work supports integrated urban growth and sustainable development. Shri Goyal has extensive experience in land management and TOD implementation in Maharashtra, contributing in integrated urban growth strategies. Ms. Fumiko Clea Kawawaki. She has over 35 years of experience in operations across urban, water, agriculture, and digital sectors. She has led PPP initiatives across Asia. Her leadership supports regional development and infrastructure innovation. Shri Shekhar G. Patel. He is a leading figure in sustainable real estate development and policy reform. His work emphasizes strategic planning and professionalization of the housing sector. He promotes the LVP advantage and champions policy reforms and professionalization in the housing sector. Mr. M. Mahadev. He has over 30 years of experience in urban transport planning. He has played a key role in integrating multimodal systems and TOD frameworks in Mumbai metropolitan region. His work supports infrastructure modernization and regional connectivity. He currently serves as the Chief Transportation and Communication Officer. A round of applause for all the panelists on the stage. Kindly note, each speaker will present for 5 to 7 minutes, followed by a 15-minute open house for the questions. Thank you.
Yeah. Good afternoon. We all look at city as an economic growth engine. By 2050, we predict, and there are data from World Bank, somewhere around 80 to 85% of the GDP is going to come from the cities, and we can expect about more than 65 to 70% of the population living in city area. With that background, I remember actually in 2014 I was in a training in Korea, KOTI, Korean Transport Institute. When I was told actually first time actually, they travel by BMW. Then we asked what is BMW. They said bike, from house to the metro station by bike. And then mode is a metro mode. Then walk. That was, BMW. Probably now, going into the concept, looking into the TOD aspects, now we can rephrase it like, WMW, walk, metro walk, okay, something like that. So with that anecdote, I'm just, from the first session, we have seen what TOD and what are the concept principles, all those things are very well covered. If you want, from my, side, I could say actually, yeah, TOD is really a sustainable mode, okay, which brings the footprint, energy footprint down, and sustainability in terms of resource saving and infrastructure cost and capital cost. So it's a huge plus for the sustainability, and it's quite a topic for the session. Second, does it boost the economic growth? Certainly, because there are data which we could show you how it brings the mixed development, and that helps to encourage both the transportation, the last mile and as well as the first mile connectivity. Third aspect, yeah, we are, as part of the Paris Convention 2070, we are moving towards the net zero adaptation. So this is one of the mode by which we could achieve it, by bringing down the energy and the pollution as such to reach net zero conditions. Fourth, does it unlock the value, land value, financing mechanisms? We have data to show you that how much it supports the transportation, not in terms of capital but also in terms of operations. Let's quickly go through some of the slides. Ahmedabad, I'm talking about, okay, overall in Gujarat we do extensively look into the transit-oriented development as part of the planning, but let me restrict myself only to the Ahmedabad examples. So as I said, in Ahmedabad, the DP, development plan, sanctioned in 2021, but the 2014, this TOD concept was incorporated part of the development plan. Though the in 2007, 8, 9, somewhere around, the BRTS started running in the city. This concept later incorporated into that, but anyhow, it's a part of the urban renewal project also, and it gives you a lot of boost into that, unlocking the land value. So this is what actually the overall master plan of the Ahmedabad. Next. So this is where actually the transit oriented development zones. If you look into that orange colors, and then the yellow color, and showing We have 120 kilometer length of BRTS and about 47 kilometer in metro. These two major MRTS transportation network in the city. So we give about 4 FSI in 200 meter buffer on both the sides of BRTS routes, about 120 kilometer and 47 kilometer in metro routes. So this is a network. You can see the city is size of about 500 square kilometer and roughly having about 77 to 80 lakh population. And we cover about nearly 12 to 15 lakh ridership in all the modes, including the city bus modes and BRTS modes, and as well as metro mode. So this is what overall, the compact city development part of that. Actually, we introduced a transit-oriented zone. This is what the availability all along this. It's literally about 47 square kilometer of development zone is available for high densification and compact city management. This, out of all those provisions of the GDCR with the control regulation, actually this is the highest FSI other than the CBD, Central Business District. It has the more FSI, and which helps to go vertically and densify the city. So this is what, the impact and outcome of the TU is it, transit-oriented zone and development nodes. You could see starting from 2015-16 till now, about 552 cases of approval, and the BRTS, a corridor, I'm talking about the BRTS corridor, it's about 1370 crore. That's the value unlocked in that particular sector. And in case of metro, the metro came into operation somewhere around 2019-20. 166 cases, literally nearly close to 300 crore. And CBD 28 cases, about 137. Though this gives a close view of how this sector, how this zone creates economic value. This also helps to increase in terms of supporting the operation aspects. Though the capital cost is much higher, actually, to some extent it helps us to help the operational cost. Part of this development, we are not talking about this within the whole city urban renewal areas alone. We are talking about areas which is suburban, which is boosting the economy of the city also, which needs to be covered actually. Under that, actually, we proposed recently 5 satellite towns within Gujarat. Like in Ahmedabad, we will have 2 satellite towns with a robust infrastructure, because without robust transport infrastructure, satellite town will never become a reality. Similarly, Bardoli for Surat, which come within 30 to 45 minutes travel time. And there is one near Baroda, Savli, and one is near Rajkot. And this is the next regional economic growth, planning, which we have done it, and we are going for the master plan as well as the transport planning for these towns. And another one, this is some of the facts actually how this growth has come up. Actually, if you look into that, this is what in seeing is believing. Actually, this is how this the high densification has come up in the city. And what was there earlier, what has come now. There's some of the photographs which you could see that. Like this is again, not only we are unlocking the value, not only we are bringing densification, we also widening the roads actually by doing local area planning, so that more and more areas put under the public domain for the walkability. That helps you to in the long run actually, as I said, WMW, walk, metro and walk concept. So thereafter, the redevelopment is one of the aspects. Whether it's going to be only in the redevelopment area, old city areas, yeah. Not only that, actually, we are doing it in the greenfield area also. That's why I said the satellite township, satellite town area is one aspect which we are concentrating. Second one is, we have this bullet train, high-speed rail corridor between Ahmedabad and Bombay. That is a huge opportunity for us now, not only for densification of cities, but also focusing on the industries, industrial infrastructure, industrial housing, those kind of things. Fortunately, we have 8 stations, and Mumbai has, I think, probably Maharashtra has 3 stations. We have 8 stations, And 8 stations, we are constituting a high-speed rail planning as executing authority. We'll have a uniformity in terms of and densification, how we can incorporate intermodal transport aspect into that. That has been taken care. And all along this corridor also will come up as part of the transport-oriented development. So this is what the 8 stations are. 3 stations are completely greenfield and 5 are actually brownfield stations. So overall, this entire corridor will become an economic corridor and will help us, boost as we talking about the 5 trillion economy and also talk about Viksit Bharat 2047 as well as moving towards regional development. And this located in prime areas. So hope to bring more and more people on the outcome side, in the sense people mode shift from private car mode to the public transport. That is the ultimate aim of this transport oriented zone and node development. And more TCC, transport commercial complexes, are coming up in station areas, and we are planning actually on the station, we are planning a housing scheme also, so that that is the ultimate kind of TOD experience. With that, today's panel, we have a quite diverse field of officers, and Mr. Shantanu Goyal, Giant Managing Director, CITCO. It's one of the oldest corporation in India actually executing infrastructure projects. And Ms. Fumiko from ADB, Director General ADB. And Mr. Shekhar Patel, President from CREDAI, and he is also from Gujarat. And Mr. Madhu, Chief Transport Communications, MMRDA. So we'll have their wide and diversified experience in terms of execution of such projects and which fueling the economic activities within the city and probably in the suburban areas. Let's stick to the time limit, and probably we'll open up the session at the end for 15 to 20 minutes for the question and answer. Thank you.
Just a minute, I'll speak for 2 minutes and then the video can play. Yeah, I'll just wait. Hello everybody, good afternoon sirs and dear panelists. So I represent an organization called City and Industrial Development Corporation, CIDCO, which was established in 1970 to initiate the development of Navi Mumbai, and it was planned to decongest Mumbai. So the history is that Maharashtra government planned to decongest Mumbai, but Mumbai is such a city that it imbibes everybody and nobody wanted to go out of Mumbai. So it remained congested. So what did we think of? We thought of that, let us build the city around transit. Let us build the city which is pivoted around the transit corridors. And that's how CIDCO, for the first time in India, a government of Maharashtra company, a state government company, contributed with the Indian Railways to build a complete corridor. And probably CIDCO is the only organization in the country which is currently maintaining 16 railway stations of Indian Railways. So that is the emphasis which CIDCO gave on transit-oriented development from the time of its beginning. And I have just a small short movie to show you the journey of CIDCO, how it has taken, how the transit-oriented development has been the pivot and the guiding focus of CIDCO. Can we please have the movie?
Navi Mumbai, a city envisioned as a solution to Mumbai's growing congestion. A city designed as the gateway to India's future, built around mobility, opportunity, and vision. At the heart of this transformation stands one pioneering force, ZITCO. Since 1970, ZITCO has redefined urban planning through one guiding idea: transit-oriented development, where public transit becomes the backbone of a city's growth. Instead of expanding endlessly outward, Navi Mumbai evolved smartly, planned as a series of self-contained nodes aligned along its rail and highway spine. A compact, connected hub became India's first true expression of transit-oriented development. ZITCO's partnership with Indian Railways turned vision into reality, with the Vashi, Belapur, Panvel corridor forming the lifeline of this new city. One shining example of this philosophy is Seawood's Grand Central, a 20 million square foot urban core, where rail, retail, and recreation converge into a seamless lifestyle destination. Today, ZITCO's focus extends beyond infrastructure toward inclusion. Through Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, over 67,000 affordable homes are being built across 20 transit link sites. Strategically located near metro station, railway station, and bus terminals. And now, the Navi Mumbai Metro extends this legacy, connecting homes, workplaces, and the upcoming Navi Mumbai International Airport, soon to be linked to CSMIA through Metro Line 8, a landmark connection between two international gateways. At the heart of this mega project will rise AeroCity, an integrated hub where air, rail, metro, and road converge into one seamless ecosystem, with business parks, hotels, convention centers, and residential towers all interlinked through transit. Navi Mumbai will set a new benchmark. From vision to reality, ZITCO's transit-oriented development has created not just a city, but a new way of life. A city that moves seamlessly, breathes sustainably, and connects people to possibility. A living model for India's urban future.
Can we have the PPT please? So ZITCO started with TOD as a necessity to decongest Mumbai, and now it has become a guiding force to develop more and more and bring a sustainable development model for the citizens. So we started with the station development on the suburban railway network. Okay. And we all know that how TOD captures the value and it again gets reinvested in the system. But ZITCO has been working on TOD in a multi-layer strategy. That first we developed the stations in coordination with Central Railway, but we use the airspace available on the railway stations to develop commercial complexes and to use that FSI and airspace more efficiently. And then the Navi Mumbai Metro Corridor, which was a typical concept of TOD, that a 500-meter radius you get a more FSI. Not only this, we did not stop at this. The affordable homes under PMAY mandate, when government of Maharashtra was asked from government of India to build 1 lakh homes in Mumbai MMR region, ZITCO took up the responsibility of building 67,000 homes, and all those homes are being built on either railway stations, metro stations, bus terminus, even truck terminus. And the last but not the least, these corridors also have amenities for livability and talent attraction, ALTA, which is the new thing in the Niti Aayog's growth hub model. And the assets like golf course, Central Park, Center of Excellence for Football, all are being built on those transport corridors so that people can also recreate and, in very easily by using the transport. So this is one of the Seawoods Grand Central which you just saw. On the Seawoods station, there is a 20 million square feet commercial space, and also behind that there is a residential space which was used to basically get the advantage of FSI. And then these are two station complexes being built in around 2010 or something. Vashi Railway Station Complex and Velapur Railway Station Complex, which have around 1 million square feet of commercial space in each. And we use the airspace which we get due to the NFSI, which we get due to the forecourt area. This is the metro corridor, and along this we have been able to utilize the FSI being given by TOD in residential, commercial and other kind of things. But this is one shining example how station forecourt areas of suburban railway stations were used to build affordable homes in a very good location and with all the facilities. So this is the Bamandongri railway station which you see in front, and behind that forecourt area has been used to build 5,000 flats for EWS and LIG on the sea view. So these are the locations which CIDCO chose to give affordable homes to the people of Navi Mumbai on railway suburban railway corridor. So as you see in this thing, that all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all of these, and 9, 10, 11, these 11 locations of CIDCO mass housing are on the suburban railway station corridors, and rest of them are either on nearby metro or bus terminus or truck terminus. So this was a real, we used the FSI provided by PMFY only. We did not use the TOD FSI because suburban rail does not come into that. But still the real outcome of TOD is being achieved through this model. And this is what I was talking about ELTA, that the golf course, center of excellence for the football, for general public, and a proposed art district is also being planned on the metro corridor, so that people who want to recreate, who want to, leisure, they also have a very good connectivity model for them. And also this Unity Mall, which is the Government of India project. So CIDCO chose a location which will be beneficial for the customers, not only customers but also the providers who can access this Unity Mall from the Atal Setu within 20-25 minutes from Mumbai, and the customers who can access the Unity Mall through the Bamandongri railway station. So the TOD has been the bloodstream, the main focus of CIDCO from the beginning, and through the using the airspace provided on the railway stations or metro corridor TOD, CIDCO has been able to utilize that FSI, and the government of Maharashtra, like all the other states, gives FSI advantage through TOD up to 4. Not only this, another policy of government of Maharashtra, which is Vital Urban Transport Project. So the value capture is through not only this FSI additional premium, but also Vital Urban Transport Project. So some of the projects are assigned this Vital Urban Transport Project nomenclature, and which are very vital for transport. And in the influence zone of this VUTP projects, government of Maharashtra or the local body charges 100% additional development charges to fund more of these projects. So these are the two models of government of Maharashtra which are helping us utilize the TOD in the best manner. So I'll stop here, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts with you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Shantanu, for quite a detailed presentation on TOD and being one of the oldest corporation in India and creating such a massive infrastructure both in Navi Mumbai and in airport areas. So long way to go actually. So played a crucial role. Now I request Ms. Fumika, DG ADP, to share her experience on transit projects executed in the world.
Good afternoon, and you can please call me Cleo. Usually they don't put my Japanese name there because I've gotten so many weird names like Flamingo, and it just gets to be a mess. So please call me Cleo. It's my pleasure to be here today, and wow, what an impressive crowd. I didn't think everyone would stay for this, but of course all the presenters are very impressive, so I guess I'll try to be as good as possible. Okay, so why do we do this? Was one of the questions what we asked for everything that we do. And, oops, I think this is an old one. Okay, well, we'll try. Okay, so, well, for India, with its diverse population and the scale and the size of its cities, I mean, there is not really a choice but to go for, compact city designs. Now, how to make the best of what you have and how to make the best of the infrastructure that is already existing. Cities are engines of opportunity, but to unlock the full potential, compact, connected, and inclusive urban spaces are key. And, well, can you imagine cities where people and opportunities are just a short transit ride apart, where climate resilience and economic vibrancy go hand in hand, where every renewal project sparks productivity and creativity and uplifts the communities? This is a vision necessary for India's ambition for urban transformation. So these are the 5, what we call pillars of why we do this. So we call it transit, inclusion, growth, efficiency, and resource mobilization. Actually, I think in this morning's speech by His Excellency, the Secretary, they were talking about the economic thinking. And so how to get the biggest bang out of the buck that you invest in. So that would be that for us, from what we've seen in the global examples, it is really on the regional planning, TOD, and creative redevelopment. With these, you can get much more out of your investment than with doing separate planning. And that becomes the most difficult part for the thinking that is there, because a lot of the governments that we deal with have difficulty in coming together. I think the transport entities may have their planning. Probably for Mumbai, this is not a problem, but for the places that we've worked in, all these different entities don't talk to each other. And that's where additional costs come in, and that's where really difficult to get private sector to come and invest. So regional planning needs to be done seamlessly to have that biggest bang for the buck. And we have an example for you. I hope I can show it within the 3 minutes and 21 seconds that we have. But, from my own country, we do some things okay. Although we're a declining economy, we still have some good examples. It's called the Urban Resilience, it is, the Japanese government created the Housing Corporation in 1955, and which has been evolved into the Urban Renaissance Agency. And in this semi-government organization, this specializes in large-scale urban quality development. And these are the guys who goes into an area, and they are the trusted go-between with all of the different parts. And that's where they go into looking at what we call the tiger, the transit, innovation, integration, all that. And TODs realized through all of the objectives, I think that was already mentioned, and then I think in the previous conventions we went through, but the land readjustment and amalgamation schemes incentivize floor to area bonuses and relaxation of building bylaws. The government also has great, thank you so much. Okay, I think we passed by that. So just for our little commercial, if you don't mind, we've with the World Bank, we launched of course with the government, we've launched these 3 knowledge documents, but we don't think these are just knowledge documents, that these could be the underpinning of the logic for the Urban Challenge Fund upcoming, hopefully, so that there is a commonality for the urban agenda that goes forward, as his Honorable Secretary was saying. Okay, and, okay. So the urban resilience, here we go. Okay, so one of the examples that we have is the Takanawa Gateway project in Tokyo. Well, it was like this. Okay, and then, oh, run out of time, sorry. It became, so there was motions taken and approaches taken. I think the most important part of this that you can say is that it brought together all of the education, the offices, and the apartments together so that the value of the land came up. You would not recognize this. When I was little, or not too long ago, but he was saying that you wouldn't want to go to Takanawa to do anything, but now it is one of the most fashionable and most expensive places, and the estimated economic growth impact was $10 billion. Okay, so this is what can be done with this regional approach to design, TOD, and creative redevelopment. So we have another example of the Umekita. This is in the Osaka area. They took a different approach. Osaka is, if you look at the rankings of cities, you see that there are one of the cities with the least amount of green. And us humans, I think we need green to be innovative and creative and recharge. So the Osaka government went through and they wanted to make a green space out of this freight operating terminal. So now, in the middle of the city, they have a green space, and the economic growth impact was $5 billion. Again, this is the kind of return that could come from the right kind of development and thinking. So from the learnings from ADB's experience in India and globally, there are so many good examples in India, but I think we can all say that it's a strong policy leadership and that can accelerate the process of transit development growth and the position of TOD beyond just densification. You just don't want to build on top. You know, you have to have that whole mindset of what we talked about in the very beginning about the why you're going to do this, and then the flexible and differential regulations. But flexible, but not so flexible that it becomes unreliable, but with reason, you can have the flexibility to invite more private sector to come in. Regulatory and physical tools, there are subsidies and there are attractiveness that you can come from value creation and strengthening the interagency collaboration. I don't think we can say anything stronger than interagency collaboration. I mean, I'd like you all to say it together if we could. Interagency collaboration. Okay, this is so key. And this is something that ADB, we can't really do anything about, so we can ask you to do that, but that's something that you really have to do. On the way forward for ADB's commitment, our President Kanda said that we're going to do $10 billion over the next 5 years in urban transformation, which includes metro extensions, RTs, urban infrastructure and services. Right now, we have $2 million on the line for designing bankable projects and strengthening the capacity of state and urban local entities. Then we already have the 3 learning projects. So what we would like to be a part of the team for 2047, the one urban team that was talked about in the inaugural session, and we'd like to drive urban transformation through transit, inclusion, growth, efficiency with revenue generation for thriving people, thriving economy. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cleo. I'm right, I hope, actually, this time. So, it's great to, have your views on the projects you implemented in Japan, especially on transport-oriented development, and also the opportunities for all of us, as she said, about $10 billion for up to 2047. So shelf of projects we have, probably we can approach ADB to get projects funded under various categories. Thank you once again. We'll now call upon Mr. Shekhar Patel, and he is a real practitioner. He is chairman of CRIDE India, so he can give us overall perspective from the developer point of view. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. My presentation is not so much of technical and high-tech. It's a basic presentation. Every Indian dreams of home with three basic things. Good government, public infrastructure like road, power, water, sanitation, and strong social amenities like school, hospital, retail, worship place, and easy and affordable connectivity to workplace. Today these three rarely comes together in India. In any city ये तीनों चीज एक साथ में मिलना काफी मुश्किल है भारत में. तो TOD creates that compact mixed use walkable neighborhoods around the public transport network, enabling affordable living, reduced commute and better quality of life. So TOD is very important for India and future of India. Currently, sir, give you the numbers, everybody knows about this number, but I want to re-emphasize on these numbers that Indian population is 1.46 billion and the urban population roughly 38%, that is 540 million people living in the urban area, and 12 out of that 40 million people, 80 million people still lives in slums. We have around 120 million pakka homes, that is built homes, and other homes are makeshift homes like slums. In future, in next 20 years, the way India is growing and the projections and the numbers are in the Viksit Bharat, Indian population, total population from India, 60% of the population will stay in the urban areas. That means around 900 million people, 90 crore log urban India में रहेंगे. Today we have 120 million homes in urban India. In 20 years we will require another 120 million homes in urban India. So इतने सालों में जितने घर बनाए हैं इंडिया ने, उसके डबल अगले 20 साल में बनाने हैं अर्बन, फॉर अर्बन पॉपुलेशन ओनली. So for that, TOD based planning is the only scalable way forward. Otherwise we cannot make these homes and we will mess out of all our cities. Currently TOD's reality of TOD today, most of the TOD and BRTS, they are basically on the main cities और main city को ही connect करते हैं. But as you talk about in your presentation, we need satellite towns. तो satellite towns का connectivity to the transit oriented zone is very much important. और every city, India में there are 32 capital cities and people want to live around that city. So we can create a 5 or 10 satellite towns around that cities, and all the satellite towns should be connected by the metro train or the BRTS. The highways, the connectivity of highways, that is not the solution. Highway it's not the public transport. It's the needed shift from the core city to regional. That's I have covered. This is also I have covered. One more thing, current TODs and current BRTS, they are in the center of the city or most of the developed part of the city. The land prices are very high in that area, and because of land prices are already high, and government is, as the sir said in his presentation, that 5% to 50% premium on a market rate, the FSI charges is also going to be high because that land price in that area is high. So in this TOD, if you give higher FSI, but it will cost, you cannot make a affordable home in TOD zone because of the FSI cost and the land cost. So for that, government has to think differently for affordable housing. So I have a plan in a mind to share with the sirs for their consideration for affordable housing only, sir. साइज जो घर का साइज है, जो सर ने जैसे बताया 60 मीटर्स, बिलो 60 मीटर्स दे आर चार्जिंग 30% ऑफ अ प्रीमियम, बट अ स्क्वायर मीटर बेस अमाउंट, यहाँ पर थोड़ी गलती, एक जीरो कम लगा है 2000 की जगह पे, सॉरी. सो 40 अप टू 45 मीटर का घर हो तो 2000 रुपीज स्क्वायर मीटर शुड बी द चार्ज ऑफ एक्स्ट्रा FSI. 60 मीटर में 3000, 90 मीटर में 5000 एंड अबव 90 मीटर market link price is okay. So in that way we can give affordable housing to these people only. यही segment है जिसको TOD की requirement है और वहाँ पर we are supplying premium homes. So we are not doing good for the people and for the society. Sustainable housing में already काफी सारे state has introduced the 10% rebate on premiums, so that's already taken care. Risk sharing, governance and approval, monitoring key performance. So basically this is the last slide. TOD is good economics only when it is good policy. When premiums are fair, risks are shared and affordability is built in, TOD becomes the true engine of urban transformation. India must add 6 to 7 million homes every year till 2047 to achieve that goal of 60% urban population. The only sustainable and inclusive way to achieve housing for all in Viksit Bharat is through TOD-led regional balance and government support TOD development. Thank you very much.
As I said, is a real practitioner. He's brought some of the main issues before us. Affordability of the FAR in these regions, and it's one of the good points which we all the policy makers, decision makers should consider it. We also look into that, but it may not be for a long run, but we can have a certain time limit, 2 years, 3 years, within that people come, so that we can densify also. We can give, as you asked actually, some kind of incentives in terms of FAR per square meter rates. The points are well taken and well presented. Now I request Mr. Madhav, Chief Transport and Communication MMRDA, to present his experience and his case from MMRDA's perspective.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Very good afternoon to the esteemed panelists and the esteemed audience. And I would like to thank the organizers for giving MMRDA the opportunity to present what they are doing in the area of transit-oriented development. So, to begin with, most of you would be knowing about the Mumbai metropolitan region. Say, as you all know that Mumbai is the business and the financial capital of the country, and also known as the city of dreams, maximum city, city that never sleeps. So all these monikers, they stand for Mumbai. So we are, at present, the population of MMR is about 25 million or so, which is about 2% of the country's population. And the GDP at present is about 140 billion, and we contribute about 5% of the country's GDP. So that's how important this region is to the whole country. At present, we have a population, a density, we are among the densest populated regions in the country, and the density is about close to about 4,000 to 5,000 persons per square kilometer. So, giving you the basics, we would, in the next 5 years, we are trying to grow the GDP of MMR to about 300 billion USD. So this is our target for the next 5 years, and we are working towards this goal. And I will show you how we are going to achieve this goal of 300 billion USD in the next 5 years. So MMRDA was established under the MMRDA Act in 1974. We came into existence in 1975. So we are completing 50 years of our existence this year. So many of you must have already heard of MMRDA. We are basically, to put it in a nutshell, we want to create a very livable, sustainable region through thriving economic growth. We want to have a very thriving economy. So this is our vision. We have an area of about 6,000 odd square kilometers, and we would like to provide connectivity from one corner of MMR to another within an hour. So within 59 minutes, that's the goal of the government, and we would like to translate that vision into reality. As I mentioned, we would like to create a 300 billion economy by 2030. This is in line with the vision of the government of Maharashtra. And to achieve this, there's an investment close to about 180 to 190 billion USD, which will be required in the next 5 years, and an addition about 3 million jobs. At present, we have about 10 to 12 million jobs, so another 3 million needs to be added to create this 300 billion economy. Earlier, if you see, up to the 1990s, there was only one, you can say, job center in Mumbai, that was in South Mumbai, in the Nariman Point Fort area. Subsequently, BKC also came up as a financial center, which was, towards the center of Mumbai metropolitan region, you can say. Subsequently, you have, various other development centers also which are proposed, or employment generators, so to say, in various, in the Thane region, you have in Navi Mumbai, you have in along the the arterial road, which is the multimodal corridor which is coming up. You also have at the southern part of Navi Mumbai, that is the JNPT area. So these are various job centers or economic drivers which are coming up, which have to be connected with proper transit and proper road connectivity. So that is what it is shown. So now you can see that the economic growth centers are spread over the region. Now coming to the metro master plan. See, as you all know, Mumbai initially, the suburban railway was the lifeline of Mumbai. So about 450 kilometers of suburban railway lines, the Western Line, the Central Line and the Harbour Line, they were the lifelines of Mumbai. But you also know that presently these railway, the suburban railway system is highly congested, though they have a good operational performance, but it's highly congested, and unfortunately we are also seeing number of deaths which are occurring due to the suburban railway operations, either people falling off the train or meeting with accidents while crossing, because probably there is no there are not well defined railway crossings and all those, so and so forth. So it was decided by the government that they will go in for a metro transit, which will actually not only this suburban lines, if you see, they run north-south, which is in along with the topography or the geography of Mumbai. So the metro lines were proposed in such a way that not only they run along other densely populated corridors, which are more or less, you can say, parallel to the metro lines, but along the road corridors. So they follow the road corridors, and also they also provide east-west connectivity. So a total network of about 338 kilometers is presently part of the master plan. 80 kilometers or so is already operational, and that includes even metro line in Navi Mumbai. It also includes, in fact, Mumbai has got the first PPP, first metro line which is executed on PPP, which is the east-west line connecting Warsaw with Ghatkopar. So we expect that in the next 5 years, we'll be able to implement this 338 kilometers. A lot of the work is already underway, and we propose that, or we are anticipating that at least 50 kilometers of metro line will be commissioned each year. So that is the main plan. So what will happen after commissioning of these metro lines is that all the residences will be within a kilometer of the metro station. So that is something which is aspired by creating this network of metro lines. And by 2030, about 13 million passengers are expected to use these metro lines. Now at present, the ridership of all the metro lines put together is about 1 million. So it will go to about 13 million. So this is expected to take a huge load off the roads. At present, the roads are very congested. The speeds are very minimal. And because of this, a lot of other issues are coming up. So this metro network is expected to reduce the congestion on the roads and make travel very convenient in Mumbai. Now if you see the dots on the TOD master plan, each of these stations are actually can be developed as a TOD. You can have TOD development in the vicinity of the metro stations. A 500 meter radius can be proposed or is proposed, and in fact there is a policy for, there is an underground line which is in operation, which is running from RA JVLR, which is in the suburbs, to Kulaba, a 33-kilometer line, and they have got a TOD policy which has been mandated by the government. So you have to provide connectivity from your development to the TOD station, to the metro station, and in lieu of that you are offered some higher FSI benefits. So that TOD policy is already in place for the underground metro line, but the implementation of the same, or the benefits of the same, are are in the pipeline. So they are not actually implemented so far, or they have not fruitified so far. Yeah, so these are the 17 metro lines which are going to come up in, which have partly come up and which are actually proposed as part of the master plan in MMR. And they are being implemented not only by MMRDA, or majority are being implemented by MMRDA, but also by SIDCO. There is another organization called MMRC who is also implementing metro lines in the Mumbai metropolitan region. And Maha Metro is also implementing a ring railway in Thane city. So there are a number of agencies who are implementing metro lines in the metropolitan region. All these metro lines, they envisage an investment of about 2 lakh crore. So $25 billion is expected to be spent for implementing these metro lines, which is close to about 400 kilometers. One important thing which I would like to bring or mention here is that, as the Joint MD of SIDCO also mentioned, these metro projects are all declared as vital urban transport projects by the government of Maharashtra. So what happens is that there is an urban transport fund which is created at the government level, and 1% additional stamp duty in the influence area of the metro line, 100% development charge, whatever money is going to come from the TOD, excess FSI, the commercial exploitation in the depot area, parking, all this is going to flow to the UTF. And the government apportions that money to the VUTP projects. So this is an important development for creating transit-oriented, for development of transit. So this is something which many states can learn from. In addition, actually, Cleo mentioned, Government of Maharashtra, just to, a little aside, but something which is very relevant, the Government of Maharashtra is coming out with the UMTA Act. So already the draft bill is with the government. So what will happen is that there will be this interagency coordination. A lot of agencies are not talking to each other, especially those which are dealing with urban transport. So because of this UMTA bill, that authority, there will be an authority at the chief minister level. So all the agencies, whoever may be involved with urban transport, they will all come together, and this UMTA bill will facilitate that. So that is a step forward. So this is what I'm saying. See, there's a lot of interchange with the suburban line, the metro lines, and these interchanges are very crucial TOD points. So this is another thing. See, in Mumbai, it's not very easy to provide TOD-based development. A lot of issues in the sense that most of these metro corridors are along very densely populated areas. So to have TOD, you have to specifically identify. It is not possible that it's very easy to do it at every metro station. It has to be very selective. But at the same time, what I would like to point out to you is that, see, there is this bullet train which is running from Mumbai to Ahmedabad. So there are four stations in MMR. One is the BKC station, then there is one at Thane, then there is one at Virar, and there is one at Boisar. So at Boisar and Virar, we are having a proper TOD development, and this is being done through JICA. So through JICA, we are planning a proper TOD development at Virar and Boisar, and at Thane it is being done by the municipality. So this is another important development in TOD, interchanges. So this is how the metro corridor, what is going to happen because of the implementation of the metro master plan is that your public transit ridership is going to go up, which we expect 27 million by 2041. The public transit share, which actually now in Mumbai was actually earlier always considered a city which patronized public transport. But because of severe congestion, or you can say, over congestion in the suburban lines, non-responsive bus transport services, in the sense that bus transport services deteriorated, services in suburban line became very uncomfortable, people shifted to private mode. But now we expect that with the metro master plan implementation, development of proper first and last mile connectivity, other sustainable modes, with regeneration of the bus transport as feeder, this public transport share should go up. So average journey speed on the road will go up. Now that doesn't mean that you're going to have generated traffic and again the roads are going to be congested. So what we are planning is that because of the adequate now road space which may be available, we will give a lot of emphasis to running of buses. So people don't shift to private modes again, or probably there's no amount of generated traffic again, so that car traffic keeps on increasing, because car traffic is increasing at the rate of 10%.
You can wind up in a minute.
Yeah, I'll just wind up, sir. So this is something which everybody knows what we mean by the multimodal integration, which is very key, very the crux for the TOD, and the predominance is given to walk, bicycle, IPT, and the feeder bus. What we have done is that within 50 meters of the entry exit of the metro station, the provisions for walk will be there. Then it also includes the public bicycle sharing. Then within the next 100 meters, we have the provision for the IPT feeder bus system. And then finally, we have the provision for the car, taxis, and as well as the private vehicles. We have not got any private vehicle parking near the metro stations. It is only the pickup and the drop. So this is again a repetition of what is there earlier. So this is the benefit. So you have a proper first mile, last mile connectivity, promotes the use of public transport, improves the ridership, emission reduction, reduces congestion on the vehicles. These are all known facts. So what we have done is that we have widened the footpaths, we have provided bus bays, cycle docks, then we have provided feeder bay for the buses, then proper information systems like signages, we have provided bays for Uber, Ola. So this is what I was talking to you about. Within 50 meters we have the non-motorized transport, preference for non-motorized transport, then within the next 100 meters for public transportation, and then intermediate public transportation, and then the last for the private transport. So this is what we need. What we are planning is that after the implementation of the metro master plan and the other initiatives for sustainable transport, the walk percentage will increase, your bus share will increase, and probably some percentage of cycling also we may see. So these are some of the features we have taken. In fact, at the 2023 UMI conference organized by Mahua, the multimodal integration plan for Metro Line 2A and 7, it won an award, Best Multimodal Integration. So that is something which I'm happy to share with the audience. So these are some of the pictures you can see of Metro Lines 2A and 7 which are operational presently. Footover bridges also. So another thing, I just take half a minute, sorry. This is another policy which we have got, FOB policy, in which we provide connectivity to the nearby residential areas, nearby commercial areas, and those people construct this FOB and provide the connectivity from the metro station to their property. So this is another initiative which has been taken by MMRDA. We have this foot over bridge policy, and many people have taken advantage of it, and it is very, it has proven to be very beneficial, win-win for both the government as well as for the private parties. Yeah, then the feeder bus system, which I told you about. Yeah, and this is another system which we are now coming up in the BKC, the ARTS system, that is Automated Rapid Transit System. So basically what we found was that, it was very difficult for people to be served only by the IPT modes. So this is another system which we are planning, which will not only link the suburban metro stations, but also the suburban railway stations, but also the metro stations with the entire BKC. So this is planned to be operationalized within the next 2 to 3 years. Yeah, we also have this Mumbai One app. I think it was already spoken to you about. So this integrates all the public transport modes. It could be bus transportation, metro, monorail, and as well as the suburban railway system. So we have this Mumbai One app which has gone live recently, and it was dedicated to the users by the Honorable Prime Minister last month. So these are some of the known benefits of TOD. The improvement in the first mile, last mile connectivity is key to improving metro ridership. Then reduce private vehicle usage, less traffic congestion. Integrating metro stations to commercial mixed use development through FOBs, vestibule, etc. Boost land value. Multimodal integration promotes walk, non-motorized transport. So health benefits are there. Savings in travel costs. So this is basically, what we are aiming in the next 5 years to create a $300 billion economy.
This has been already covered, actually. You can just...
Yeah. So thank you so much. So thank you for patiently listening. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mahadev, actually, for your valid input on an ambitious expansion project of MMRDA, and also the points which you brought in, like AMTA and the seamless traveling in terms of in this app we were talking about the card. So very well taken. I'm also strongly believe that along with the TOD you should have AMTA. Both together only holistically work. Otherwise TOD alone will not work for the better transportation. We should holistically look into these aspects together. Now I think we'll open up the session for 3 to 4 questions quickly. Then, gentleman behind.